going to show you today is how to string your weaving sticks. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to clamp my clamp to the table, and then I'm going to put in my weaving stick. Now I'm going to put the smooth weaving stick to my left, and I'm going to put the weaving stick with these kind of little notches to my right. Okay, so I'll just clamp that to the table. And the distance that you need between the two sticks literally just depends on how long you want your weft. Now, to make your weft, you're going to need 3 strings. Now, I start on my stick from the second notch up. And what I do is I tend to tie my string around the middle one first. Okay, give yourself a bit of excess string. Tighten. And I'm going to bring it across, and I wrap it around a few times, give myself a nice length of excess there to play with because it's a bit tricky. And you want this string as taut as it can be because you really need these strings tight when you're wefting, otherwise it's really fiddly and really difficult. So okay, so I've tied that string nice and tight. Okay, and I'm now going to tie the second string. The important thing here is the distance between these 2 threads. They must remain quite close because as you're weaving, this weave needs to be able to be quite tight, so the threads must kind of converge. Okay. So I've tied them, and I've got a little bit of slackness there, which isn't ideal for weft making. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo the clamp on my right, and I'm just going to pull it over a little bit. And what you can also do is you can also twist the sticks a little bit, and that'll just pull them a little bit taut. As you can see, these 3 strings here have converged quite nicely, so I'll be ready to weft. And what I'll do is I'll start wefting from left and work to my right. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to show you is a starting knot. I've taken a small strand of hair from my drawing mat. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make like an M. So taking my strand, I'm going to go under the bottom string, over the top 2 strings, under the bottom string, over the top string, across the middle string, and under the bottom string. I'm then going to take the strands on the left, I'm going to lift it over and across the bottom string. Pull that tight, and I'll just slide that along to the left, and that will be my starting knot. It will hold the strings together and pull them tight, and when the strings are cut off the sticks, your weft won't instantly fall apart. So I've now taken another strand of hair from my drawing mat, and I'm going to show you a technique called once in weaving or flat weft. Taking the end, and basically for this technique what we're going to do is we're just going to recreate that M. So this is a little bit simpler than the starting knot. We go under the bottom string, over the top 2 strings, under the bottom string, over the top string, and under the bottom string, and pull tight, and that's it. Okay, so my weft is about 2 inches long now, and I've decided that's the length that I need it to be. So, the finishing knot. We take a strand of hair, we start by going under the bottom string, over the top 2 strings, under the bottom string, over the top string, across the middle string, down under the bottom string. Then we take it from the right across into the middle, over and under the bottom string. Pull tight, slide across, and you can see that that just pulls those strings nice and tightly together, and this will stop our weft falling apart at the other end when we cut it off. Okay, so now that I've got my finished weft, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these strings off the sticks. So I'm just gonna tie a little knot. That way I know that it's not going to separate and come undone. So just quickly tie a little knot, and I can trim away that string. There we go. And I'm just going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm just going to snip those ends off, and that gives me quite a nice neat weft.